Man, I really thought I was going to hate this movie, but I have to say, not really. I didn't hate it, but it still sucked. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another review, and today I'll be reviewing Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yep. Yeah. Um, so this came out, of course, this year, 2021, and was directed by Malcolm D. Lee, and the stars, of course, LeBron James. I had to say it like that. Sorry. Um, Don Cheadle and Zendaya. Yeah. All right. So. All right. So. Yep. Here we are. Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'm a little late to the game, just like my review for Mitchell's versus the Machines, because this came out like I don't know, July. It came out in July, but you know, during that time, I didn't want to watch this movie, but I figured, what the hell, I'll watch it and review it. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I didn't have any. I didn't want to watch this originally, but I decided to, and yeah, I should say, I should probably talk a little bit about the original movie before I get to this one. Of course, this is a sequel to the '90s classic Space Jam. Um, and I watched Space Jam before I watched this. Of course, I've seen it. I've seen it many times. I grew up on Space Jam. Yeah. I used to have it on VHS as a kid, and I wasn't around whenever it came out yet. But I did have it on VHS as a kid, though, in the 2000s. That is not the 90s, but the 2000s, and I loved it. I loved Space Jam whenever I was a kid. So I thought, before watching this movie, I thought I'd check the original out and see if it still holds up as an adult and even as a film buff. And I have to say, yeah, it does, at least for me. I mean, it's probably just nostalgia talking, but yeah, I still like Space Jam, the original. Is it a good movie? Not really. It's not a good movie, but it's nostalgia. Nostalgia. I like it. I like it. I like Wayne Knight. He's really funny in that movie, and Bill Murray is hilarious. His cameo, definitely the best part about it. Honestly, I was dying laughing yesterday whenever I watched it before I watched the sequel. I was dying, and I even thought the Looney Tunes were still pretty funny. Like I know I watched the Nostalgia Critic episode of Space Jam, and he said that they weren't even funny to him. I thought they were still pretty funny. Um, so yeah, I like Space Jam. I can't say anything about Michael Jordan, though. He wasn't really that great, but yeah, whatever. Um, but anyways, yeah, for the most part, I still like Space Jam. It's nostalgia. However, the sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy, yeah, this was not good at all. Like, not really. Now I did say in the intro that I don't hate it, but and I'll get to the reasons why a little while. But yeah, but anyways, I guess I don't know the plot of the film. So this movie is almost kind of like the sequel in some ways. I mean, pretty much, except this time instead of Michael Jordan, it's LeBron James, of course. And so this movie is about Don Cheadle's character. He plays the villain, and he kidnaps LeBron James's son and puts him into like this multi-universe thing or something. I don't know. He has something to do with this multi-universe, and LeBron James has to like team up with the Looney Tunes to for a basketball game to win his son back. That's the plot basically. So yeah. Um yeah, like I said, this movie is terrible. It's bad. It's really bad. But is it the worst movie I've ever seen? No, not really. Now it is probably the worst movie I've reviewed for this channel, but it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. And like I said in the intro, I didn't hate this movie. I really thought I was going to, but I didn't. And one of the big reasons why I thought I was going to is because I actually watched the Nostalgia Critic episode for this movie, and along with the sequel, the first movie as well. Um, but I watched the Nostalgia Critic episode of it, and but whenever I was watching it, I was like, my God, that looks so bad. So I really thought I was going to hate this movie. But I actually wasn't, and I'm not going to give this like half a star or whatever. I'm still going to give it a low rating, but the reason why I'm not going to give it like half a star is because I actually have one positive to give this movie. It's not boring, I have to say. In some ways, this movie is kind of cool. In some ways, I didn't say it was good, but I don't know. It was a little bit cool seeing like this multi-universe, and seeing all these different characters from Warner Brothers movies and shows and whatnot. It was kind of cool. And I have to say, this movie was somewhat entertaining because of that. However, this movie is not funny. Not really. There's actually only 2 jokes I think I laughed at, and then like some others I kind of just chuckled at maybe. And there was actually 2 jokes that were actually kind of funny, but I didn't like. I thought, or at least clever. I thought they were clever. Like, I'll go and say what those jokes were. For one was Michael B. Jordan's cameo. That was clever. I actually did like that joke, but I didn't laugh at it because I already knew about it, and I watched it in the Nostalgia Critic episode, so I already knew about that. And also the Rick and Morty joke, to the Rick and Morty reference or whatever. That was pretty clever too. I liked that also, but again, I already saw it in the Nostalgia Critic episode, so I already knew about, so I didn't laugh at them, but I thought they were pretty good jokes. They were probably the best jokes in the movie. But yeah, there were 2 other jokes I thought was kind of funny, and I did, or actually there was one joke and one line, and I think it was just like a delivery on how LeBron James said it that made me laugh. But yeah, but for the most part, yeah, this movie's not funny. I thought Space Jam, the original, was actually pretty funny. I mean, well, okay, the jokes in that movie were either hit or miss. There was actually a little bit more misses than hits, but there were still hits. There was still some stuff that made me laugh in the movie, particularly Bill Murray and Wayne Knight and the Looney Tunes. But yeah, the Looney Tunes are not funny in this movie. In fact, man, other than Bugs Bunny, all the other Looney Tunes, they felt like they weren't in the movie for that long. Like, I don't know. Other than the game, like, they just didn't seem like they were in it for too long. I don't know. It was mostly just showing LeBron James and his son. And it showed Bugs Bunny a little bit, like a little. I don't know. It showed him enough, I guess. But the rest of the Looney Tunes, I don't know. Whenever they did show them, they weren't really that funny. So yeah, that sucked. And actually, I will say LeBron James, his acting wasn't great in this, but I will give him this much: he was a little bit better than Michael Jordan in the original Space Jam. I will say that. I thought he was a little bit better, but still not great. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, oh, and Don Cheadle, he plays the villain. Wasn't really into him very much. I don't know. I didn't really like his character. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. This might be a short review. But yeah, Space Jam: A New Legacy, it's not good. But it didn't hurt me. The only scene that did hurt me was, which I already knew about it because of the Nostalgia Critic episode again, was the scene with Porky Pig rapping. That, and if that's a spoiler, I apologize, but I don't recommend this movie, so whatever. But the scene with Porky Pig rapping, even when I saw that in the Nostalgia Critic episode, I was going, "Oh my god!" Like I was, Jesus, that was bad. That was really bad. So yeah, that was really rough. And watching it in the movie, that was rough again. But other than that, I don't know. It wasn't. I think that was the only thing that hurt me, the only painful thing in the movie, that I remember. But yeah, this movie's not good. But I can see some people liking it. I can see kids liking this movie. Just like the '90s, yeah, the original Space Jam. They're both decent kids movies, I guess. Well, this first one's a decent kids movie. This one, I wouldn't say it was a decent kids movie, but I think some kids might like. Excuse me, some kids might like it. So, yeah, but it's not for me. I'm definitely never going to watch this movie again. Maybe I don't know if I'll watch the first one either. I don't know. That one I'm kind of just like, all right. I don't really think I need to watch the first Space Jam again. Maybe in the next 10 years or so. I don't know, but I'm fine with not watching that. But yeah, this one I'm definitely not watching it again. It's definitely a one and done. That one I know for sure I'm never going to watch again. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say other than it's a bad movie. Probably the worst I ever reviewed for the channel, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'll give it that, and it wasn't boring either. Like even though it wasn't funny, really, it still didn't bore me. Like there's been some unfunny comedies I've seen that I thought were so boring because they weren't funny. This one, I don't know, it was still somewhat entertaining, but it still wasn't funny. So like I said, it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be, but it was still bad. This is still a terrible movie. Just it could have been a little bit worse. So yeah, all right. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and give it its grade or rating. I'm gonna give Space Jam: A New Legacy a 1.5 star. Yeah, 1.5 star. The lowest I ever gave in a movie. Yeah, I don't recommend this movie. I mean, and if you like this movie, that's fine. But yeah, this movie's not good. But again, could have been worse. So yeah, 1.5 star. Space Jam: A New Legacy. All right, there we go. There's my review for Space Jam: A New Legacy. So in the comments, tell me, have you seen Space Jam: A New Legacy? Have you not? If you haven't, good for you. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Also, which movie do you prefer? The original or the sequel? Of course, I'm definitely for the original, even though it's not a great movie either, but still. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. And I'll see you next time for a list. I don't know what yet, but we'll just see. Okay. Peace.